Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud Course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. Before starting, if you want to support this channel, giving it a like is a free way to do it, as I can push content like this to more sim racers. Now, getting into the track guide itself, for turn 1 what I'm using as a reference for braking is this white line around the curb. We're mounting the curb all the way, so we have our right tires on the white line. Before the white line that's in front of us, we're gonna apply the brakes. We just barely touch the brake, and in 5th gear we're gonna turn into the corner. We'll cut a lot this green part while putting the power down, and right now there are two options, two different lines. Both of them can work quite well, but it's up to you to decide what's gonna be better for you. I'm using here the fixed setup, so keep this in mind. And what I'm doing right now is that I'm braking a bit later and I'm apexing around the red and white curb, just barely touching the green, so that whenever I put the power down, I'm already on the right side. I'm carrying a lot of speed, but some of this time, I will lose it now whenever I'm cutting this green part, because the car will slide a bit more towards the left. So you see, in the end, I end up with 2 tenths and almost 3 tenths. Another possibility right here will be for you to brake a bit earlier for that corner around here and cut more this green. Like, you can cut this green almost like in turn 1. You can cut it more, and as a result, you will be more towards here in the center. And even though at this point you will lose time compared to my line, you will gain some of that time back right now when you're gonna cut, because you will have a better angle for this corner. The car won't slide as much and it won't arrive here to this left side. So up to you to test those two. In my opinion, for my attempts, this one was, you see, it was 3 tenths quicker. So you're using a bit more tires, but you're a bit quicker. So it's up to you to decide if it's gonna be worth it for you. Now for the next corner, I'm braking at the 50 or slightly before this white line around here. I'm braking and I want to arrive to 2nd gear really quick. I suggest here to put the brake bias even more towards the rears. Like right now I have 53.5, 52 I think in this corner will work well, because you're braking and turning at the same time, and it's a long braking zone, because you want to be on the brakes from this point onwards. You want to arrive to the red and white curve while still trail braking, and now you want to arrive to this part of the curve while still being on the brakes. That's a lot of time being on the brakes and still turning. And if you notice in my lap, the inside right tire is micro locking up, so having the brake bias more towards the rears will help here, because you don't really want to brake very early before this corner. If you're gonna mess the timing up, you will be earlier on throttle and it's gonna be even worse. So just do it with your brake bias. I think that's the best way to put it. I didn't have enough time to do more laps, but I think if I want to improve more in this corner, I'll just put the brake bias more towards the rears. And now putting the throttle down, you don't want to go wider than this. The right tire should still be on the white line, and while turning into the next corner, you want to barely kiss the green part of it, and you want to do a small lift at this point, just to make the front end point, just to shift some weight on the front tires, and then the car will corner better, because it's a lot better to sacrifice a bit here in between those two corners to have less speed, so that we can take this one flat or almost flat, just small lift, instead of doing the lift here. So if you're not gonna do this lift in the previous corners, you will do here, and whenever you're gonna do it here, you will lose more time, because this is a huge straight. So we prioritize the corner that leads to the big straight, in short. Now for this one, braking point will be again around the 50-meter board on the left side, or around the white line on the right side. I'm looking more towards the white line on the right side. Braking in a straight line, not using the curb, because you will have less grip while braking. This curb has this texture and the tire goes up and down. It's really not worth it to brake on it. And while braking initially on a straight line, you want to trail brake in third gear and touch the red and white curb. Don't touch the green, you will go wide. And the moment that you feel these small compressions around here, you will smash the throttle 0-100%. There's a lot of grip on the inside and you really have to be quick there and push the throttle, because you also have this space here to play with, so use all the space on the exit. Now for the next corner, you have to brake almost diagonally. I'm braking, as you see here, this curb, I'm braking in the middle of it. So I want to go a bit more, the middle of it will be around here, and I'm starting to apply the brakes. I want to bring the car braking in a straight line almost right now, all the way to the left side, and whenever I have the tires on the white line, I will start turning to the next apex in second gear. You can go closer to the green and immediately put the power down. Ideally you won't do these corrections under throttle, but if it happens, you just have to brake a bit earlier and use all this track around here. That's gonna be key. This is a big straight because the next two corners are gonna be flat. So it's super important to have good exit speed out of the previous corner, because this is gonna be flat, the next one is gonna be flat, and here you have two approaches. You can either cut it and go diagonally, or you can go around it. Going around it is gonna be a bit slower, but you will use a bit less the tires. In this instance, I'm going around it like this. But you can shorten the distance by going diagonally towards the next corner. Either both of them will work. Probably the one diagonally is going to be a bit quicker. Now whenever you're arriving here and you're preparing to turn into the corner, turn flat by keeping the throttle flat, but then drop it to, I'm dropping to 0, but you see it's very quick. I'm taking the green part and then I'm putting back up. Try to minimize this lift. If you can keep it to 0 to 10%, that's going to be even better. And now, while braking for the next corner, don't use this curb, you'll have less grip. It's the same story as 4 corners ago. And I'm braking at this white line in front of me. Whenever I'm the white line, I'm applying the brakes. I'm going and in second gear, this is a low speed corner. Don't touch the green part, just stay on the red and white and trail brake more than you think. Put the power down and don't use all this curb. You can use more than this. But you will feel whenever you will turn that the car is lazier to turn because of this curve, and you don't have a lot of time to prepare in between those two corners. You really have to put the car all the way to the right side for the next corner so you can take it flat. But if you lose a bit of time bringing the car, you won't be able to properly reposition it. So don't use all this curb in this instance, use it like I'm doing right here. Now properly repositioning, putting the right tires on the white line, immediately turning into the corner by staying flat. You can even cut a bit the green in this instance, because you have this space. Like if you go around here, you will still not get an off track. But in the next corner, the off-track limit is a lot stricter, so I'm braking on this curb in the last corner at the beginning of the curve. Because this is gonna be a very soft braking, you will just downshift to 4. This is a high-speed corner, so barely braking, apexing around these white parts around the curb and putting the power down immediately. You still have this space around here. I was overly cautious to not take the off-track and complete the track guide, but you can go straight a bit more so that you won't scrub the speed. But in short, that's a track guide with the SFL around Misano. I hope you have a great week racing here. It's a great track. So hope you enjoyed it, I hope you like it. If you want to see more track guides like this, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to accelerate the progress, if you want to learn at a quicker pace, you can check out my sim racing course. It's in the video description. It's a lot of value in my opinion, and I think it will take you to the next level. But anyways, thanks again for watching and looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye bye.